Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, I ask you to do three things: to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll also ask you to hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. The reason why I ask you to like, comment, and subscribe is because the more you interact with this video, the more YouTube will promote this video, and this will help us get the gospel of Jesus Christ worldwide. Happy Tuesday. I have a couple of questions to ask you. My first question is, how many of us don't know what to do next? My second question is, how many of us have been asking for a sign? And my third question is, how many of us have been ignoring the sign we've been asking for? Let me submit to you, follow the signs. The sign God has given you, follow it. Follow the signs to leave that relationship or to pursue that relationship. Follow the sign to leave that job or to press in to that job. Follow the sign to move to another state or another country or lay down roots in the place you're currently in. I'm here to tell you right now to follow the sign. I'm not telling you to follow a formula. I'm not telling you to follow something that you think is the right thing to do. I'm telling you to follow the signs that the Holy Spirit is giving you. In the Old Testament, there was a warrior named Gideon. And he asked God for two signs, and God gave him two signs. And Gideon proceeded to do what God called him to do. And he was able to bring freedom to his people because he followed the signs God gave him. My question to you is, how many more signs do you need before you proceed? I'll say that one more time. That's that kind of rhyme. How many more signs do you need before you proceed? God has given you a vision. Then he has confirmed that vision through your friends. How many more signs do you need before you proceed? If you wait until everything is in place, if you wait until everything is perfect, then I'm here to tell you right now, you will never move forward. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 4 says, "But there are some things that you can't be sure of. You must take a chance. If you wait for perfect weather, you will never plant your seeds. If you're afraid that every cloud will bring rain, you will never harvest your crops." How many of us still are holding on to our seeds of purpose because we're waiting for the perfect season, or because we're waiting for the perfect situation, or because we're waiting for the perfect circumstance? I'm here to tell you right now, those who wait for perfection would never plant their seeds. So I'm here to tell you right now, are you waiting on perfection, or today are you going to decide to plant the seeds God has given you? Stop waiting for a certain season and go when you have a sign from God. It's not the season that will determine your success. It is God who determines your success. And when God gives you the signs, He'll make sure that those signs will point you into the right directions. But what good are signs from God if we choose to ignore them? 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 6, it says, "Jonathan said to his young armor bearer, 'Come, let's go to the outposts of those uncircumcised men. Perhaps the Lord will act in our behalf. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving, whether by many or by few.'" Let me pause right here and remind you, nothing, and I repeat, nothing can hinder the Lord from saving. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving you from addiction. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving you from low self-esteem. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving you from a dysfunctional family. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving you from that toxic relationship. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving you from depression. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving you from anxiety. I'm here to tell you right now that nothing can hinder the Lord from saving you from you. Because sometimes our biggest enemy is our inner me. But be encouraged, because there's nothing, I say one more time, there is nothing that can hinder the Lord from saving you. Acts chapter 2 verse 21 says, "And everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved." So nothing can hinder the Lord from saving. If we continue with 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 7 and 10 says, "Do all that you have in mind," his armor bearer said. "Go ahead, I'm with you, heart and soul." Jonathan said, "Come up then. We will cross over towards them and let them see us. If they say to us, 'Wait there until we come to you,' we will stay where we are and not go up to them. But if they say, 'Come up to us,' we will climb up, because that will be our sign that the Lord has given them into our hands." Let's be vigilant. Let's be sober-minded for the signs from the Lord. Let us stop making decisions based on our feelings, and let us start making decisions based on our faith. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 7 says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." Signs were designed to show that you were going the right way, even if it felt like you were going the wrong way. Even if you've never been down this road before, the signs are meant to assure you that you're going the right path. Even though this path is lonely, even though this path is dark, even though this path is uncertain, the signs are there to show you and encourage you and to tell you that you're going the right way. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 11 to 12 says, "So both of them showed themselves to the Philistine outposts. 'Look,' said the Philistines, 'the Hebrews are crawling out of the holes they were hiding in.' The men of the outpost shouted to Jonathan and his armor bearer, 'Come up to us, and we'll teach you a lesson.' So Jonathan said to his armor bearer, 'Climb up after me. The Lord has given them into the hand of Israel.'" We need to have faith like Jonathan had. Once we get the okay from God, let us go towards the plan. Let's go towards the calling. Let us go towards the purpose God has for us. But after we have prayed for a sign, then we ask God for another sign. Then God provides that sign. Then we ask for a third sign, or a fourth sign, or a 52nd sign. I'm here to tell you right now, we need to get bold and walk out the purpose God has placed in our lives. There's so many of us waiting for more signs when God has created us to be a sign to point to Jesus. I say that one more time. There's so many of us waiting for more signs from God when God has created us to be a sign to point to Jesus. But we don't want to start the ministry because we're waiting for another sign. Let this video be your last sign and your confirmation. It's time for you to start your ministry. Start the nonprofit. Start serving at that community. Start the blog. Write the book. Stop watching pornography. Stop beating yourself up. Start walking in the purpose and calling God has for you. This is your sign. Start doing the thing God has called you to do, and stop doing the things that are keeping you from your purpose, your destiny, and your calling. Here is your sign. Stop delaying and start doing, because God is waiting on us to take a step of faith. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 13 says, "Jonathan climbed up using his hands and feet." Pause. After Jonathan got the sign from God, the Bible said he climbed up using his hands and feet. So many of us are waiting for every door to be opened. So many of us are waiting for every connection to be made before we move. But the Bible says Jonathan, after he received the sign from God, he climbed up with what he had. Let me encourage you, go with what you have. I say that one more time. Go with what you have. So 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 13 says, "So Jonathan climbed up using his hands and feet with his armor bearer behind him. The Philistines fell before Jonathan, and his armor bearer followed and killed behind him. In that first attack, Jonathan and his armor bearer killed some 20 men in an area about half an acre. Then panic struck the whole army, those in the camp and the field, those in the outposts and raiding parties, and the ground shook. It was a panic sent by God. Because Jonathan followed the sign of God, they were able to gain the victory. My question is to you, how many of us are foregoing victory because we're not heeding to the signs from the Lord? Before I end this video, I want to give you 3 types of people you should have around you when you're on this journey following the signs from God. The first type of person you need to have around you is a person who's going to be there for you through thick and thin. For Jonathan, this was his armor bearer. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 7 says, "Do all that you have in mind," his armor bearer said. "Go ahead, I am with you, heart and soul." The second type of person you have to have around you is someone who's willing to watch your back. But we have so many people around us that's willing to stab us in our back, and not enough people around us who's willing to watch our back. We need people in our lives that will look out for our blind spots, not throw us into our blind spots. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 13, it says, "Jonathan climbed up using his hands and feet with his armor bearer right behind him. The Philistines fell before Jonathan, and his armor bearer followed and killed behind him." We need people in our lives that are willing to to defend our backs because we can't see behind us. But we need people who can surround us. Get a community that will support you and not tear you down. And the third type of person you need to have around you is a person who's willing to fight with you. 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 14 says, in that first attack, Jonathan and his armor bearer killed some 20 men in an area around about half an acre. You need people who's willing to war with you. You need people who's willing to pray with you. You need people who's willing to fast with you. You need people who are going to be willing to war with you in the spirit. Because Paul tells us in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. We need people that won't just say, I'll pray for you, but they never do. We need people who's going to get with us in the trenches, who's going to fight with us and allow us to see God's kingdom established on this earth. We need people who's going to lift us up when we are down. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 to 12 says, two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. So find people who are willing to be there for you. Find people who are willing to watch your back. And find people who are willing to fight with you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I don't want you to miss out any of the content coming from this channel. If you have any prayer requests, put in the comment section below. If you feel led to support this ministry, the giving information is in the description box below. I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more content, subscribe over here and watch the next video over there. God bless you.